We're on a muddy road. Rained a little bit last night. This is usually, I guess, a very dusty road. It's my first time here. So we're going to Cañas Verdes. We are going to go up to about 1,700 meters and then hike to a little over 2,000. We're gonna see a couple of kind of off the beaten path parts of the farm that are sort of a little more rare and exclusive, let's maybe say. And we will go to Nido, is the plan if weather is okay while we're up there. We are currently walking through one of Hacienda La Esmeralda's farms. This is Cañas Verdes. A little out of breath. We're coming up. Doesn't look like it's a tough aspect. I'm just probably out of shape. We just parked a little further down at the cabana, so a cabin up here in the farm. This plot is called Reserva de Cabana, and we're gonna continue straight up for maybe 200, 300 more meters, and we're gonna try to get to a plot called Nido. All right. Just loaded into the back of this little ATV. Our hike is done, I guess, for the day. I'm being told we did the tougher part of the hike. We're gonna take the easy route up the rest of the way. Leaving Gigante, we're on our way to Nido. I don't know how long it's gonna take in the little back of this ATV, but here we go. So at this point, we're kind of just in rainforest. There's no coffee, no visible coffee planted. We are just high up in the rainforest, looking for Nido, one of the premier lots of Hacienda La Esmeralda. You know, it's so cool. We've driven 3 minutes and all the foliage is just completely changed. It now looks more like a classic forest that we would maybe have back in Canada. A lot more greenery, a lot more moss, but we've left what feels like rainforest, and it's now into, you know, just a whole different world of biodiversity. We are just getting through the high security here at Nido.
Es que es nuevo.
They have wild cows up here to protect from the cows.
Here we are at Nido. The name Nido actually comes from a big tree that has fallen since about 10 years ago. But we used to come up to visit this area when I was in pasture because of that big tree. So that big tree had a certain nest in it belonging to the resplendent quetzal. The resplendent quetzal is an exotic, beautiful Central American bird that has a range from Mexico until Chiriquí. And they will choose trees that have like a hollow interior. And so Nido, translated to English, means nest. And it's Nido del Quetzal for long, or nest of the Quetzal in English.
I've never waited this long to try a cherry on a part of any farm.
What are you looking at?
The damage. Pop.
And it's just because of the extra rain, right?
Yeah, the rain is getting to it, which is breaking my heart.
Okay, so the size of the cherry, pretty gigantic. This is a cherry from Nido. So these are geishas. We're above 2,000 meters above sea level. I'm gonna pass one over to Dan here. Dom, I want you to try one too. Beautifully purple ripe.
Wow.
Woo-wee. I wish you could taste this. Super tropical. It's like honey. It's like melted honey covered in papaya. Stone fruits. You can eat the whole thing, wow. So in the auction last year, Nido, this part of the farm, set all-time record prices for Esmeralda at $7,500 per kilogram of green coffee. That converts down to maybe about 80 cups of coffee. So the math on that would be about $100 cost per cup should we buy at that pricing. That would be our cost before serving it to the client. So a pretty substantial price point for a pretty incredible coffee. You can also see the seeds are just huge. That is a very, very large size geisha. You can see some of the other ones I just spat out a little bit smaller, but these are big boys.
My grandfather made this whole expedition to come out to Nido because he used to see a constant cloud over it during the dry season. So every time he looked up the mountain from our beneficio, he would see a constant cloud over Nido. And then he did a whole expedition to come up here. There was horseback, there were no roads. It was actually really difficult to get up here. First, he tried to produce lettuce, and then he realized that producing lettuce up here would be probably the world's most expensive lettuce, since it was 6 hours on horseback to get down and up. Then he switched to potatoes. Then he gave up and turned it all into pasture for our cattle up here. 13 years ago, they turned it was all, I remember it 13 years ago, it was all just pasture, high grass. And we actually used to have a cabin up here. The cabin that we started at used to be up here. It was all wood. You can't take any wood out of the national park. And yeah, it's taken 13 years to get to this stage. And it's just super sweet cherry, really fruity natural geisha. It's also an expedition to get here, which I think adds to the value.